What is shaking, Mega Maniacs? It is April 11th, and Monday Night Tradition is happening because Raw is off the air. You've tuned your browsers to Mega Powers Radio, and it's time for the most interactive post-Raw experience available, the Raw Post Show, here on MegaPowersRadio.com. If this is your first time tuning in, we don't call ourselves that for any reason. We invite you all throughout the show to give us your thoughts about Raw tonight, your questions to us about things going on in the world of wrestling, whatever the heck else you might even feel like talking to us. We're pretty open-minded here. We go all different directions. I should be careful what I say, especially when Dr. Phil is in the house. Tweet to us at Raw Post Show. Join us in the chat room. Shout out to all our cats that we got here nice and early. We got Wazili, Ben Guest, William Carey, Awesome Piano Man, Kaylin Ferris, Dane Quinn, Angie Pie, AP Styles, Crichton, Silent Wind of Doom, Brian the Brain, Declan Mixie. We have one guest elsewhere. Hey, if you're listening to us anywhere else but on the Mixler page, you can navigate yourself there. Just find the little logo that says Mixler there. It'll take you there, and you'll see the chat room where you can chat with all those cool cats that I just listed off there. And we also have our voicemail widget available on MegaPowersRadio.com. If you're feeling brave enough to actually put your voice out on there, we welcome it. We used to have phone calls here, so a lot of people miss that. You could still get heard here on the show. They aren't hearing. Oh, there's nothing coming through? Hold on, guys. Let me get you up. Yeah, you guys should be able to hear now, yeah? Yeah, you guys suck. All right, guys, we are fully on the air. You just missed the introductions anyway. You didn't miss anything you didn't already know. How to get involved. Shout-outs to all you cats there. And if you want to get involved, take advantage of those anytime throughout the night. Getting things started here, though, we have a packed show to talk about. Even though it's 1 week after WrestleMania, they still pulled out all the stops. They had Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt, big rivals from last year, team up. We saw Sami Zayn and AJ Styles, a fantasy matchup, happen with major implications for the next pay-per-view title match on the line in it. We had Charlotte defending her title against Natalya. We had debuts. This almost felt like it could have been at Night After Mania Raw. But no, 2 weeks after, they still had lots of surprises left. Good show overall, I gotta say. But I always like to ask the rest of my panelists here what they thought. So I'm going to introduce them and ask them what their big takeaway was tonight. First off, my name's Mike Payton. I'll be calling the shots, leading things here on the Raw Post Show. With me first is the main man of the Drew crew, Mr. Drew White. How you doing tonight, Drew?
Hey, I'm doing good, Mr. Payton. How about you?
Pretty damn awesome. What did you think about Raw, and what was the big takeaway you had tonight?
The big takeaway I really took from Raw tonight was, other than the fact that Shane McMahon is in charge of Raw for some reason, even though he lost that one match at Mania, a lot of the stuff that happened on the show makes sense. Like Kevin Owens getting kicked out of Raw because he might ruin Sami Zayn's chances again, and a bunch of other stuff that happened. A lot of stuff made sense. I kind of dig it. The show was written pretty well tonight compared to, I don't know, before WrestleMania. So big thumbs up there.
Also with us tonight, Mr. Steven Huego. Mr. Huego, what is on your mind after Raw tonight?
Well, the one thing that's always on my mind after every episode of Monday Night Raw, AJ Styles. Fun match with Sami Zayn. Still in that main event for Payback. Times are good to be an AJ Styles fan.
It's the top of the show had Shane McMahon in the ring saying AJ Styles' name, and I was just baffled by the fact that here we are, 2016, we have Shane McMahon back in WWE, standing in the ring, promoting AJ Styles.
It's crazy.
How things have changed just from a year ago. It's really cool. Great times. And also with us, Mr. Tony Mango, main man of SmartOutMoment.com and the Smack Talk podcast. Tony, what did you take away tonight?
I got to preface this by saying I have like zero energy tonight, and my biggest takeaway from Raw was it didn't really help with that. It's probably more my fault than anything.
Okay.
So I'm not going to shit on it and say it was a shitty Raw. It's more likely me.
Yeah, I don't see any segments here that I felt like were torture to watch.
I saw a couple of those.
I'm not going to say everything was solid, but there was nothing where I was like, oh, God, hurry up and get through it. Like, there's things that maybe I could have missed and not felt like I missed too much. But when I'm watching this as a 3-hour show, it didn't hurt me too badly. That's my thoughts on it. Chat room, you go out there and say what you got to say about it. We've already seen lots of you talking in the Mega Maniacs Facebook group today. It seemed like feedback was primarily positive, but if anyone else out there has anything they want to throw in there, chat room is open for discussion there. In the meantime, we're going to talk about some of the big topics from this show. Always usually is what the first thing we talk about is the main event. And for that today was Bray Wyatt got put into a team with Roman Reigns to go against League of Nations members Sheamus and Alberto Del Rio. League of Nations came out and interrupted a Roman Reigns promo earlier in the night. Wyatt family, of all people, came to the save when League of Nations surrounded Roman Reigns. Seemed more like it was just a common enemy type of thing, but the big surprise, Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns pulled out the victory in this, and what that means for them, who knows? I mean, at this point, we know AJ Styles is the next contender. Maybe they're setting up for something afterwards. I think the biggest thing that I have to say about this, that was really the thing that solidified in this match, and I think was probably the primary point for this match, is solidifying Bray Wyatt's babyface turn. But I'll go deeper into my thoughts with that. I kind of want to talk to you guys what you thought about the setup for this main event and just your general thoughts about it. Tony, since you after 3 hours of the show, maybe you were feeling a little not so positive going into this. What was your feelings going into this?
I kind of looked at it as generic tag match filler, but the most interesting part was clearly Bray Wyatt, and I missed a little bit of it here and there, but if they're going to figure out a way to put Bray Wyatt into a babyface turn, it's a little bit kind of curious that they would put him against the League of Nations and teaming up with Roman Reigns, but it seems to have worked. So, if Wyatt's going to be a face from now on, then I'm kind of curious.
Did you not think that Bray Wyatt would be the obvious choice from the audience to go against League of Nations? I mean, the audience chose New Day over League of Nations.
Yeah, it's true.
It seems
but
like
then again, when you team him with Roman Reigns, he kind of seems like a heel.
I wouldn't say that, because Roman Reigns, he's not necessarily made a heel turn. He's coming out there and he's being a little cocky, but I think that's more the fans are pushing him that direction rather than him being that. He's never done anything that's put him there.
Yeah, his character is clearly not a heel right now, but if he's testy with the audience, it's kind of weird for them to be like, all right, well then let's make a babyface turn by putting him with the guy that nobody wants to cheer, kind of. But, it's not looking bad, so...
It's like they're going to be a permanent team, too.
Yeah.
They were definitely unlikely partners and not necessarily willing.
Although he does have a beard.
Drew, what's your thoughts about this main event matchup?
I enjoyed it. Not much to really complain about. The touch on the idea of putting Bray Wyatt someone they're kind of moving towards that babyface realms with Reigns, who isn't getting the best face reaction. It was kind of in that murky, pun intended. He's in that murky area right now where they could have easily had Bray just turn on Roman afterwards, and no one would question it. Just that the Wyatt family is they're just headhunting for the sake of headhunting at this point. That anybody could be their next opponent. Kind of like a few years ago, we had heels versus heels with them in the Shield. So I wouldn't have been surprised if they did something like that. But I'm kind of glad that they've kept the guns of having them maybe be a face for the time being. And if the reports are true that they have no idea what they're doing with the Wyatt family, might as well just go out there to see what the fuck they could do as faces, because they definitely didn't do much at Mania. Yeah, they had that segment with The Rock, but it wasn't like Bray Wyatt had a big match of any points. I mean, shit, Future Legends Eric Rowan had the biggest pop of the night, so it'll be interesting going forward.
Wago, lastly, what did you take away after this main event?
So as far as the opening segment goes, I was very much like Tony. Yeah, this seems like bullshit tag filler. But the result was interesting. More so than I can say I was entertained. More intrigued with where they're going with anything. And that's good. You actually need to have questions going into the next show, or there's really no reason to tune in. Solidifying Bray Wyatt as a babyface, I think, is a very smart turn, especially when the guy you've been grooming to be your lead babyface has cemented himself as a tweener. So, yeah, they definitely needed more babyfaces, and they made the right move with Bray Wyatt tonight.
Now, where is this going to lead for Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt, though? I mean, right now we know Roman Reigns is going against AJ Styles. What's going to be Bray Wyatt's deal going through this next month?
I guess he's going to focus on the League of Nations. That's the only thing he has really set out for him.
Mm-hmm. Definitely League of Nations. Especially because they're not in that tag title tournament.
Oh, that's true. They weren't.
Yeah. So we're getting 3-on-3 at Payback for sure.
I know it looked like Wade Barrett was possibly leaving the company at one point, but do you think just them throwing Wade Barrett out of the picture is just because the Wyatt family only has 3 people because Luke Harper's injured right now?
Oh, what if Wade Barrett joined the Wyatt family?
Does have a beard. Nah, he's leaving. He's gone.
If Wade Barrett's sticking around, he needs a babyface run with that Bad News Barrett gimmick. They missed the boat with that.
What if he stayed King Barrett, but he was like the king of the rats? Like he just became really deranged.
You say he's leaving. I don't buy that quite yet. They're about to make that tour in England. If he doesn't appear at some point on that Raw,
dude, they have so many other international stars they could use over there at this point. They don't.
And they have a lot more British talent, especially like they've got Neville's probably the biggest guy. Fuck, he's injured.
Yeah, but he has a
They got
broken
Cesaro
fucking
back.
ankle.
They got Sheamus. They got Rusev.
Plus, it's not a necessity.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they won't sell
to be
without
quite
one
honest,
English
like
guy.
when they have a British guy or someone go wrestle in their country, they don't turn up for that guy. They just like to cheer because hey, that's our guy.
Unless it's British Bulldog.
Yeah, that's true.
Like the only time in history that really worked.
But I mean, they could get off with just having William Regal come out and cut a promo if they really wanted somebody like that. Or like you said, Cesaro's got a little bit of a connection there. And
Paige.
Yeah, Paige.
Actually, I'd say Paige is probably the biggest star out of the two right now.
Barrett wouldn't like re-sign a contract just to go on that one tour. He's gone.
Did they announce it yet?
What'd you say?
Did they announce that he was gone yet?
No, they've only just been saying that he was excommunicated by League of Nations.
If he would have been taken out of that to get some kind of a push, we would have seen him tonight.
No, they kind of could have just injured him, and he's recuperating.
He could just be on hiding until there is a chance. Whenever they have this 3-on-3 match, he could interfere. There's always a chance. I don't think it's likely, but there is a chance.
I never bought the Barrett thing back when that story came out because he made a comment about it. Granted, it was, I'm here to do my job and that's what I'm focusing on right now. But it's just weird that he mentioned it and WWE was just completely fine with him doing that. So I'm not going to buy it until I see them officially announce it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, any other thoughts about this main event matchup that we had here? Anything involved with it?
Nah.
I do just kind of say Bray Wyatt's, for anyone who wants to argue anything about Bray Wyatt, like there is a way for him to do his babyface character here, and this is the way he did it. When he came into the ring, he was really playing to the crowd during his entrance. Even notice when the Wyatt family interfered, they only took out the threat. They didn't actually continue attacking and cause a disqualification or anything like that. They took out Rusev, and then they just kind of like looked at Alberto Del Rio like, what are you going to do? And then Del Rio went in and lost the match.
What are you going to do, Del Rio? You don't have a beard.
It's true. I bet you Del Rio can't grow a beard.
Oh, dude, no, he does. He can't. No way. He could go a little stubble, but that's the most I've seen off him.
Yeah, he could probably grow like one of those little soul patches at the end of his chin. That's like probably the only thing that would come in like at all.
He just gets the neck beard. That's it.
Imagine Del Rio getting like stranded on like a desert island.
Looks exactly the same.
They find him and he's still like baby faced.
Yeah.
Would you just crash here like 2 weeks ago? Okay, so let's go to the beginning of the show. First off, they had a memorial for Blackjack Wyndham. I should know exactly which one it is. But yeah, one of the Blackjacks, who I believe was Bray Wyatt's uncle, passed away. What is this that they just got linked here? Someone just linked a picture of Alberto Del Rio with a beard and chest hair.
I just looked at that. That is amazing.
Yeah, but see, it's fake.
That's disturbing.
Which all the more reason to believe that he can't grow a beard.
It does look really, really out of place on him.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the chest hair looks even worse. But
yeah, it's all plotches.
It's all different color too, which is the weird thing.
Somebody just took like the image of a rug and laid the opacity over it.
So yeah, there's our memorial to Blackjack, whatever his name is.
Jesus Christ.
Shane McMahon goes out to start the show. What an amazing concept. He announces a number of matches that we're having throughout the night. He announces that we're having Charlotte against Natalya. He announces that we're going to be having AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn. And he announces, after Kevin Owens comes out and bothers him, that we're going to be having Cesaro versus Kevin Owens, where the winner is going to get a title shot at The Miz. That match ended up being our first match of the evening, Cesaro versus Kevin Owens. And this was a pretty kick-ass match to start off the show. Cesaro was welcomed by the crowd. His entrance just gets better and better now. I think we've seen it 3 times if you count SmackDown, but this week he included this like James Bond element to it. Like if you looked at the Titantron in the back, it had like the barrel of the gun while he was in the middle of it when doing the little fish shoot thing. And he walked from the right, which at first kind of threw me off, and then I was like, oh, I get what they're doing here. Did you catch
James Bond gun barrel.
Yeah, did you catch that, Tony?
Of course I did. I mean, I went nuts when Spectre had the gun barrel in it, and gun barrel is friggin' awesome. So when they have Cesaro come out with the gun barrel, I was just kind of like, I'm a Bond fan. I like this. You guys are awesome.
What about you guys? I mean, Tony's got the big 007 fandom in him, but are you as much of a fan of Cesaro's new character-ish that he has? I can't really call it a character, but
I have one issue with it, and it's such a minor one. When he's in just his wrestling gear and the sunglasses, he looks like a fucking dork.
He did kind of look when he first pulled the suit off and he still had the sunglasses on.
So yeah, as long as he takes the glasses off before everything else, he'll be okay.
I didn't get to watch the entrance, but I'll definitely go back and check it out. And I'm fine with the character because at least he has a character of some sort, so that's good.
See, the biggest problem is that the gun barrel never starts off with
He's giving
this
himself
theme
away
should start
then,
off
right?
with ba-da-bum-bum.
They're gonna work that into it, Tony. You can't just go that to that and people just be like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, I think more than likely the next James Bond movie is going to start with that.
Just
So be careful what you wish
warning. New James Bond, this is not Daniel Craig anymore.
Warning, crossing racial lines.
There you go. Apollo Crews should just be the new Cesaro.
Oh, shit. Well, everyone wants him to have a place.
Yep.
There it is. Any thoughts about this matchup, though?
Cool.
Really, really solid.
Cesaro gets the pin with a neutralizer, and that makes him the number 1 contender for the United States Championship held by The Miz, who also had a segment tonight where he was backstage with his wife, Maddie's, and they're pulling the complete A-list celebrity drama bullshit where they can't have blue M&Ms in their bowl, and they can't drink domestic water. They can only have imported water. Oh my god, fuck these kind of people. Like, I used to book shows for bands, and even like low-level bands would put ridiculous shits in their riders that they would expect you to have for them. So I can't even imagine. Some of these wrestlers probably actually do have shit like that in their contracts.
I fucking loved this segment. It was
loved
fucking
it too.
brilliant.
Oh, it was perfect.
Miz's character is so much better, and to be fair, he's always had a good character. You mentioned it when we did Beltor Berry, Zack Ryder, and The Miz, so go check that back on smartcutmoment.com. That he's got probably, like, his character's more legitimate than it's ever been. You're damn right. It's fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
And Maurice adds, like, another layer to it, too.
Oh, she's such a bitch.
Oh my
It's
god,
so
her voice
good.
was so annoying.
She's gotten better at speaking English, though.
Oh, absolutely.
And she's still super hot.
But she was
so
like
it's
purposely doing that like catty, annoying voice.
Mhm.
And
Now the blue M&M
amazing.
thing is something that like it's like one of those legendary backstage stories, you know, have like only the red Skittles or you know, I want to have like a mixture of nuts, but there better not be a single peanut in there, like that kind of bullshit. So it makes sense. And who would want to drink this domestic water? That's piss.
Well, Miss ended up drinking it at one point.
Yeah,
and
but then he
forgot
almost
about
threw
it.
up because of it.
Yeah.
That was-
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we hear about some kind of like injury report now that he drank that.
This was my good of the night as soon as I saw The Miz with cucumbers on his eyes. Like
Just that, but it's still image, it would have been great.
That was amazing. No, you can't. The Miz, like Wago said, he's always had that great character, but fuck, Maurice just adds another level to it. And when they actually give him time to like do his character and stuff, oh, it was great. And even the interaction with Cesaro was great as well. So this was definitely my good. And that's not shit on everything else, because there was a lot of good matches tonight. Just this thing was fucking amazing. Big thumbs up.
Curious about one thing that I noticed during this segment. Does Cesaro just have earbuds in now?
No,
Yeah.
I think that was like a Bluetooth earpiece.
Oh, okay, because I know he used to carry around those headphones, and I'm like, did he just upgrade to like, I don't want to carry around these clunky ass
I
things?
think it's
I
supposed
thought
to be
they-
like a Secret Service kind of guy thing.
See, I don't know. I thought it was the just like the Beats pills things, or not the pills, but just the earbuds of the Beats.
I thought I saw a Motorola logo on it.
Maybe I was wrong. Motorola is definitely not Beats.
No, not by a long shot. So what do you think about this match that we're going to get Cesaro versus The Miz?
I mean, I'm
Cool.
excited for it.
Cut to the chase, you know? Like, I was thinking that we were going to get the two of them and Ryder and who was the other dude? Jericho. Of course, later on, Jericho took a different direction. We'll get to that later, but you know, they already knocked Ryder out of the equation. Let's just do Cesaro and Miz.
Poor Ryder,
I'm-
not even on the show tonight.
No,
Yeah.
I'm 100% positive the only reason Ryder got that title was that he knew a secret of Vince McMahon and he blackmailed him into winning the
No,
title.
There's one reason he won it is because they just wanted to make a surprise.
He looked into that lockbox.
Or he blackmailed him. I'm just saying.
Well, whatever. I hope Miz actually has a long reign with how good he was in this segment. How good he's really been stably for years now. Like through all of his reigns he's had, I think he's only had like one good United States title reign. That's about all he really had. And I guess the tag team title row at Big Show.
Yeah, those are the only titles he's held. It's incredible. It's been in the company
He's held
since
every
2012.
title. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What do you mean? When did he hold the IC title?
He
He's
feuded
holding it
for 2
now, you
years.
asno.
And he feuded for 2 years.
Oh,
with it. Like
no, my
back-to-back
bad. I thought you
WrestleManias,
said-
he's had IC title matches.
No, that's my fault.
He's
I thought
actually
you
the
said
only
Cesaro.
performer in the company who's defended or held every single title at WrestleMania.
I thought we were talking about
a fun
Cesaro. That's
fact.
my fault.
Yeah, Cesaro never won the IC belt.
He's-
Cesaro was just tag in the US, yeah.
Yeah, but when was Cesaro tag champion with the Big Show?
Yeah.
Because that's what we were talking about.
I don't know.
That was a hot minute back in the day. Tyson Kidd turned into the Big Show for a little bit, you know, character change.
Oh, they do have kind of similar hair. Oh,
Well,
imagine
Tyson
if the
Kidd-
Big Show had that stupid hair Tyson Kidd had.
I'm pretty positive Tyson Kidd beat Big Show to get into a Money in the Bank match at one point.
Does sound possible.
So just saying.
Well, in another direction of backstage segments, we had one between Charlotte and Ric Flair, where Charlotte's all offended and pissed off that she has to defend her women's title 8 days after WrestleMania. Ric Flair's like, I absolutely agree. This is ridiculous. Until they are approached by Dr. Phil. It's Dr. Phil, our special guest on Raw tonight. They announced it last week, but we had no idea what he was going to be doing. I knew they weren't going to be doing like the guest host thing, like when they were like GM, because we already had the GM thing going on with Shane.
Oh, thank God they didn't go Jerry Springer, where they had the Jerry Springer show as a whole 20-minute segment, but with Dr. Phil instead.
That would have been very offensive if they did that. Absolutely. What they did tonight with him, I actually pretty much liked most of the things they did with him. He comes up here and he just completely unloads into Charlotte, telling her that, hey, you're really good, you got lots of talent, you have a bright future, but your dad here, yeah, he's holding you back. He's a jerk. You need to get away from him because he's right. And this is the story that they're telling, and this is what I've been kind of waiting for them to finally put the seeds into. Charlotte needs to separate from her dad at some point. And whether that's going to turn her babyface or heel, or keep her heel, I don't know how they're going to work that out exactly. But it needs to happen, and it needs to happen soon.
Isn't it incredible that Dr. Phil is the reason for the start of this, pretty much? It's kind of incredible in a way.
Well, I mean, they've been building to this for months.
True.
They've been, I mean, this is something that you've been setting up for a while. I mean, you have her mooch off the name of Ric Flair for a while to get her introduced, but sooner or later, Charlotte needs to stand on her own.
Glad she wore that Ric Flair jacket again tonight. Or actually, not jacket, robe. That would have been terrible.
They do that a lot when they get their new outfits for WrestleMania. They'll keep wearing them for a little bit.
Yeah, and I like it.
Although Kalisto's not wearing that sweet dragon helmet that he had.
At this point, he's going to be wearing some kind of a cast.
He's going to be wearing one of those like things around his neck for a while.
He's going to be wearing a frown on his face.
Oh, we'll get to that. But what do you guys got to say about Dr. Phil's performance here?
Fuck this. I hated it. This was just so stupid. I hate Dr. Phil. I hated him doing the woo. I hated seeing Charlotte and Flair doing anything anymore. I disliked this so much, I didn't even watch the match.
What?
Wow, you missed out there.
Dr. Phil had nothing to do with the match. He came out on. He just sat next to them and watched the match.
He didn't even talk on commentary.
And twice, Byron Saxton was like, "So why did you lay into Ric Flair backstage in Charlotte?" And he just explained why he said it. And then they talked to him after the match. He's like, "Yeah, I'm disappointed in Charlotte, but she's a good wrestler." And then he went on this positivity speech about women wrestling and how they're really defining. Actually, that's actually another good of the night. This kind of Dr. Phil just totally just giving a thumbs up to the women's wrestling division in a weird way. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, I thought Dr. Phil was very, very competent tonight. Like, he was comfortable. He didn't stumble over his words anywhere. He didn't come over and step on anybody's toes too much.
The one ugly though, the one bad thing he had was his fucking entrance music.
Oh, that was
just weird.
Did he even plug anything?
No.
Yeah, I don't remember him
show by default, right?
I mean, they mentioned that the Dr. Phil was on his 14th season, but other than that, I mean...
14th?
Jesus Christ.
I just thought that this was pretty much them saying he had a show on USA now. That's usually what they do with this kind of stuff, but... Goddamn, I don't get it.
So what the Doom is saying, Andre doesn't have a Titantron, but Dr. Phil has a Titantron. Well,
when we start getting the Dr. Phil Memorial Battle Royal, then...
Does Andre need a Titantron, to be fair?
Yes.
Maybe we have to have his daughter come out. So, yeah, since we already talked about that, let's just go ahead and skip to that Divas title. Oh, my God. I got to work that out of my system. Women's title matchup that we had between Charlotte and Natalya. 8 days after WrestleMania, Charlotte is defending that title again. Really competitive matchup. I mean, these women have great chemistry. Almost every time they've gone out in the ring, they put on a good match, and this was another example of it. Natalya has Charlotte locked in a sharpshooter, seemingly has victory in her grasp, but Ric Flair grabs onto the referee's leg and pulls him out just as Charlotte begins tapping. The referee calls for the DQ, so Natalya wins, but the title remains with Charlotte. Really expertly done segment here. This is everything that they would have wanted with it. Again, Charlotte keeps her title. Again, she has to rely on Ric Flair here. Sooner or later, this is going to pop.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping Natalya won the title just because I don't like Charlotte. And I kind of wish she didn't have the title. I mean, she's a good wrestler, but fuck me. I just wanted to see Natalya with it because Natalya is really amazing in the ring and they just don't use her enough. But no complaints about this match. All of it was good. Actually, my bad. One complaint. Natalya is screaming, and whenever she's like, "Get into this, guys!"
Did she do the fucking Bray?
No, she didn't. No, she went. It's like I forget what she said, but she was like yelling at the crowd to like get into the match or something along those lines, and it was kind of
playing to the crowd.
Yeah,
that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, but it's the way she said it. I always forget Natalya has a really manly voice. Whenever she screams, it just freaks me out every single time.
You are so shallow.
I think you're trying really hard to dislike her. Like,
yeah, what
really,
the fuck?
like if your description of her would probably be this fucking wildebeest that's like, I'm
Natalya. Dude, I just said I love Natalya. She's actually one of my favorite wrestlers, and I'm pretty positive I gave her a couple thumbs up in that Hottest Divas. Or should we just do women's now for the one this year, Tony?
Nah. Although it's definitely not going to be sexiest wildebeest competition.
That's going to be on the All Talk Show.
Yeah.
Yo, Lon is so winning that.
Who is?
Lon. It's
Sure.
one hot wildebeest. So I think this was a kick-ass match, but any other thoughts you guys want to put into this?
Well, Tony didn't watch it, so he doesn't have an opinion.
That's true.
Nah, I was too busy watching a Divas match.
This match wasn't bad, but it didn't really do anything for me, so yeah.
Well, it just continued to put out the character that Charlotte was. And for some reason it put Dr. Phil at ringside.
It's one of the more less offensive women's matches I've seen. It wasn't a bad match by any means, so...
I almost expected Dr. Phil to attack Ric Flair when he tried to interfere.
Kind of wish they did that now.
I was hoping Flair would actually get pissed off at being cut off and just, like, fucking blade on him.
Yeah, what are you going to do about that, Dr. Phil? And since we're on the Dr. Phil talk, we did have another appearance by Dr. Phil later on in the night. This one was during another one of these goddamn R-Truth and Goldust backstage segments. They are a tag team that is in this tag team tournament that they're doing, which we'll get more to that. But they're still insisting that they're not a tag team.
They even have a fucking tag team name. And it's like, we're not a tag team. Oh yeah, well the graphic that says Golden Truth says otherwise, you dipshit.
I think Goldust is just delusional.
I think WWE is delusional if they think that anybody gives a damn.
It'd be great if someone actually just went up to them in a segment and said that, what Tony just did.
Yeah, listen, you're on the card as Golden Truth in a tag team match, partnering up, so fuck you.
No, we're not. Yeah, as a matter of fact, you're due out in 10 minutes. No, I'm not.
Oh, and you're losing that match because you suck.
Is there a reason why we're getting this in April after they started doing this in what feels like November?
I don't think it was November, but I do think it was December. It's been a long time.
And they've done this almost every week. I just don't understand it. Dr. Phil is not even the part that I hate in this. It's just that we're still doing this awkward pairing between these two. I just don't understand why they keep on force feeding this one. This is the Roman Reigns of putting two jobbers together.
Huh?
Just force feeding it to people.
I don't think that's fair. They're not as the lowest of the totem pole of jobbers.
Okay.
I mean, R-Truth, that's a guy who competed for a world title once, Goldust, multi-time Intercontinental Champion, Tag Team Champion.
Yeah, but Zack Ryder's now an IC and a US title holder.
Yeah, but they were both fake.
Yeah, they
Just
were
like
pretty
that
fake.
stupid internet title that he had. Remember when he had that stupid ass shit? And it was like his head?
Have they retired it yet?
I think he got rid of that a long time ago.
It was never official. It's never had an actual title.
No. In his eyes, it's official. Like, I bet he goes home every night and he, like, wrestles his dad and his brothers.
The only thing
title.
that I ever found funny about that title is he said that he won it in a battle royal in Brazil.
Yeah, that's true. All right, we had a tag team tournament that began tonight. New Day introduced it to us. That is going to have 8 teams competing in elimination style, where the last team standing will become the number 1 contenders for the tag team titles. And hey, it's presented by Bootios. They make sure you ain't booty.
I'm just waiting for my box to come in the mail.
You actually ordered it?
Yeah, I wanted the box.
Oh my god.
I mean, I might throw away the T-shirt, but I'm keeping the box. I wasn't lying when I said I wanted to get it.
I was definitely kidding. Not actually
No.
spending money for a fucking box, you idiot.
Hey, I actually got it. No, actually, I believe for the box and the T-shirt, it was only like $25 because I put in a code. So
That's still way too much money for a box.
no, it's not the box.
Was it up, down, left, right?
You could have fucking printed that off and just stuck it to your own cereal box.
Yeah, but even better, I could have just bought it. I don't see you with a box of Bootios. Some fucking
Well, I
wrestling
don't see
I
you
fan.
don't
with one
want a
either. It hasn't
fucking
come
box
yet.
of Bootios.
I don't see you with $25.
No, I have $25 other dollars. I have like 52 in my wallet. Come on, that's like two $25.
All right. Well,
I'll go to the Math Night Raw post.
our first
You could fucking say it.
our first match that we had was the Dudley Boys versus the Lucha Dragons. Really big news out of here. Kalisto pulls a Sin Cara, and it looks like he got hurt.
Good.
Oh, come on.
Oh, his U.S. title reign's garbage. At
It
least
is,
this
but I would never wish that on anybody.
I'd be totally fine with him being injured for like 2 weeks where they decide they need to take the belt off of him and then he's fine afterward. Like, this will convince them to not drag their ass on it. Just get rid of the U.S. title completely or put it on somebody else. Put it on fucking Kevin Owens.
Well, this does leave an interesting, question here. If they got to take it off him, what the hell do they do with it? Ryback, we haven't seen him on TV the last 2 damn weeks either. What the hell happened to him?
Mm-hmm.
We got the rest of them. I mean, I guess you could like hot shot it to Sami Zayn. You want to go that route?
You know, if they find out that he's injured enough where it's like a serious injury and he's going to be gone for a couple weeks or whatever, next week on Raw, just do like a Battle Royal real quick or like, I don't know, like a Fatal 4-Way or whatever. Say like Zayn, Styles, what are like 2 other people that could be in the mix? Because you can't put Miz, you can't put Cesaro. Maybe Ryder. Maybe make him part of that and say, like, you want to get another chance at this and maybe you can win the U.S. title or whatever.
Or even better, they don't do that.
And
they don't have him on Raw.
Then you just have Kevin Owens win and he goes like, yeah, I couldn't win that IC title, but I'm the fucking U.S. champ. Eat that, Shane. And he goes, well, you're going to defend that against Sami Zayn at Payback. Boom. There you go. Give me my check, WWE.
Could he just win it and then lose it the next night on SmackDown? I think that would be better.
What, Kevin Owens?
No. Zack Ryder.
Well, he ain't winning it.
I'm still upset Ryback's not showing up on Raw.
It is a total bummer, and that's what AP Styles saying in the chat. They literally built Ryback up again just to randomly job him and let him disappear.
Has he
I have a
won
theory
a
about
match
this.
at Mania?
What's that, Tony?
My theory is the reason they're keeping Ryback off is because they don't want confusion. First off, there's Payback, so they don't want the Ryback Payback confusion. And second, Roman Reigns, the night after WrestleMania, started referring to himself as the guy.
Well, guess what?
I don't think they want to be like, well, if he's the guy, then the person who should beat him is the big guy. And,
No, but he should beat him. He's the big guy. Tony, come on. Ryback is the greatest
Wasn't
wrestler.
Ryback like the proposed opponent for Roman Reigns? So like maybe that is even why they're having Roman Reigns call himself the guy. Maybe Ryback's going to return as a babyface and be like, yeah, well, you're the guy. Well, I'm the big guy.
You're not the bad guy or the good guy. You're the guy. Well, I'm the big guy. Also, I'm a meathead.
Stupid.
Stupid. Yeah, poor Ryback. He should have won that fucking title at WrestleMania, and Kalisto could have gone.
Yeah, poor Ryback,
somewhere
not
else.
poor Kalisto.
Yeah. Hey, if Kalisto didn't want to get injured, he shouldn't have. Whatever he did.
I'm not even sure exactly what happened. He got.
Fair, Tony brings up a good point. If he didn't do whatever he did, it wouldn't be hurt. It's all his fault. Fuck him.
I just thought he got thrown out of the ring or something.
He got knocked off, but then he like stood up, and then Devon clotheslined him, and that's when he didn't get up again.
Yeah, if there's a match that involves Sin Cara, and Sin Cara's not the one getting injured, then that's surprising.
He got knocked out, and then he didn't get up.
That is definitely a rarity. But yeah, Dudley Boyz win, and they move on into the tournament. But bigger news here is also that Enzo and Cass come out afterward, continue trash talking to them. And I do believe when I was looking at the brackets, it did look like that we could potentially have these guys lined up in the finals.
No, semifinals.
Oh, semifinals?
Yeah, it's so if they win their match on SmackDown, they'll face each other hopefully on Raw. I would hope they put that on Raw.
The bracket is Usos, Social Outcasts, Golden Truth, Vaudevillains, and then Enzo and Cass, The Ascension, and then Lucha Dragons, Dudley Boyz. So semifinals.
Oh, this ends up being Dudley's and Usos in the finals.
No, I bet they'll put the Enzo and Cass in the finals, and then the Dudley Boyz screw them.
I'm thinking Enzo and Cass and Vaudevillains.
That'd be wild.
Oh, I don't know. They're getting that SmackDown treatment still.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, maybe. I thought that they would have at least put him on Raw by now.
All the more reason to bring him on Raw if they win on SmackDown.
Yeah.
They beat Golden Truth, because apparently they're not even a tag team, so why the fuck are they in this? And then you have Golden Truth, or not Golden Truth, Vaudevillains against, who are they up against? Usos on Raw.
Yeah, I mean, even like wait until the finals. What better way to debut them than saying, "Hey, these guys already won their way all the way to the finals in this tournament. Here's they are," and then maybe even have them win.
They're my pick right now.
Wow, that seems like such a long shot, but at the same time, if Enzo and Cass have something more important they're going to be doing on the side, they might not be in that bad option.
Well, you got to figure they're not going to do Enzo and Cass against New Day. Two babyface teams like that. More than likely, they'll keep Enzo and Cass and the Dudley Boys together, which means that they gotta have to be like separated a little bit from the tag titles. Which means you got Usos and you got Vaudevillains, and then another team that we are going to talk about a little bit later on. But Vaudevillains are the new guys, so they can come out there. They're kind of goofy, so they can sort of pair up a little bit with the New Day in like a goofy kind of way. And I don't know, maybe they've got some like old timey other version of Cheerios or something that they can put up against them.
I think they'll just give them a box of like Wheaties or something like that.
Corn bran flake things,
I will say when it comes to Enzo and Cass versus the New Day, they got to be saving that for SummerSlam.
Why?
I don't know. You'd think that would be something like, oh my God, we're building up this big babyface team of Enzo and Cass. They'll take on the people who talk a lot of smack as well.
New Day's babyface right now too.
I know.
Fatal 4-way.
They could just do face
You
versus
always
face.
say fatal 4-way for everything. Fuck off.
Let's have a tag team big man buffet.
Damn right.
No. The Fatal 4-Way tag match for the titles only happens at Mania, Tony. So fuck you in that opinion.
Yeah, Tony.
Yeah, you fucking...
In that opinion. Let's go ahead and skip over to the other tag match that we had involved in the tournament. It was the Usos going against Social Outcast members Curtis Axel and Heath Slater. Usos win this with a roll-up, which first off, that kind of pissed me off because I'm kind of like, really? Like the Usos couldn't even just like legitimately beat the Social Outcasts? Like you couldn't even let them do that?
I think there's too many super kicks on this show.
The Usos fucking suck. Anyway, they advance in the tournament, but they don't look too good here because shortly after they get the victory, they get taken out by a debuting Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. Where the hell did these guys come from? Out of nowhere, debuting on the main roster, completely bypassing NXT. One thing that kind of bothered me through this is the whole time on commentary, Michael Cole's go like, "We've heard about this for weeks. We've heard about the rumors for weeks." I'm like, who has? The fuck you talking about, Michael Cole?
We.
The people.
By the way, Drew, SummerSlam 2015, Fatal 4-Way, first match on the card. New Day versus Primetime Players versus Lucha Dragons versus Los Matadores.
Yeah,
Boom. Suck it.
Yeah, but you seem to forget that Los Matadores was on the card, and so is the Primetime Players.
Well, we see how much people cared about the debut of Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, guys. You've been waiting for that for so long.
It was really underwhelming. It kind of felt like a Christian moment to me a little bit. Like they made a random ass entrance, and Cole's trying to make it a little bit exciting. JBL's trying to talk about how great that is and whatever, but I didn't feel that like buzz. Like they weren't like.
I did.
Really? Yeah, I mean, again, I said at the beginning of this, maybe it was just me and my low energy, but I wanted something a little bit more.
I think people are a little upset because they were automatically assuming they were going to be paired with AJ Styles and or Finn Balor.
Doesn't mean it won't happen.
And yeah,
for all you know, they're gonna have a match of Payback. Looks like they're gonna be a normal tag team, and then bam, Styles is the new champion.
Let's remember that's how they got New Age Outlaws together with DX. Like originally, New Age Outlaws were just kind of there as a tag team, and then they just got recruited. So they could do something like that. Yeah, they debuted him tonight, Awesome Piano Man.
I mean, I don't have a complaint about it. So, I liked it. They don't have to do something big and extravagant for everyone.
I just didn't really know who the fuck they were.
So you didn't watch Wrestle Kingdom or something?
We know who they are, but the person like in the audience that doesn't pay attention to a lot of that stuff, they're gonna be like, "Wait, these two bald guys? Who are the bald guys?"
Yeah, and it's they do that a lot, and it's not as offensive when they do it with the NXT guys.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
because you're supposed to be watching it.
Well, you're supposed to be watching them, but they also like will hint about these people a lot throughout. Like they say, we've heard about them coming, pardon me, for weeks, and I'm like, where? Like the only
No.
place I know that in the WWE universe that's been buzzing about Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows coming in has been on Finn Balor's Instagram.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like the only goddamn place that's had anything.
According to JBL sources, he knew that they were debuting tonight. Because he said that at one point.
Yes, but JBL just has random references for everything.
Maybe we should just ask JBL.
This match is great. It reminds me of boxing match from year blank.
Good old Stan Hansen.
Fucking JBL. Sucks.
But maybe we'll find out next week why they're coming after the Usos, because that doesn't make any sense to me either, what their beef with them is.
I'm pretty sure it's because the Usos fucking suck and they're sick of them too.
If that's what it is, I'm good with that.
Maybe they were just like, yeah, the Dudley boys couldn't do it, so we're just gonna beat you now.
Or maybe they're just WWE logic of you guys are baby faces that don't have a feud.
Probably.
We had, speaking of NXT stars, Apollo Crews back on the show with a short match against Adam Rose. Pretty much a squash match. Apollo Crews getting another victory. Probably not much to say here until we see them do anything beyond these squash matches for Apollo Crews. Someone was talking in the chat about how it was a quiet crowd, and I'm like, what do you expect? This guy's been visible to the crowd for a week now. Like, it's going to take time to get the name Apollo Crews to people, to get his moves over with people. Like, people can't just get over in 1 week. That doesn't usually happen.
Plus, what's the buzz when you're going up against Adam Rose? It's like, oh, wait. Apollo Crews is going to win a match against that. What's his name? I forgot it already. Adam Rose.
I think the thing that really hurts it is that everyone expects the crowd after the Raw after Mania to be on a similar level. But as we've learned for the past 4 or 5 years now, that the next Raw is never anywhere near to the level of the Raw after Mania. So people complaining about the crowd not being too loud, it is what it is. I mean, shit, they're in Los Angeles. Los Angeles is never really too hot of a crowd.
I thought the crowd was pretty good tonight. Yeah, Los Angeles actually is, for a bigger market, usually kind of a weaker crowd.
And I had no
But I
complaints
thought
about the
tonight
crowd
they were
tonight.
pretty good.
Yeah. They usually are babyface lovers anyways, so...
Mm-hmm.
So I really have no complaints. Apollo Crews looked like a badass still. Yeah, he beat Adam Rose, and Adam Rose fucking sucks. So, yeah, it gives me a better reason to love Apollo Crews. But people complaining are just fucking complaining at this point. Who cares if the crowd is just eating at the palm of his hands after 2 weeks? It barely happens with anyone. It's not... Apollo Crews wasn't even in NXT for that long as well. It's not like Sami Zayn.
He was there for like, what, maybe 6 months most?
Debuted at Brooklyn, so... Shit,
Maybe
yeah,
a little bit more than 6 months.
Like 8, but still, most people don't watch NXT each week, so they don't get to see him every week. And then again, he doesn't wrestle every week on NXT, so definitely did not wrestle. Definitely doesn't feel like 8 months, but definitely hasn't been there for that long.
Well, he wasn't even on the last NXT special. Got cut from
I
the
thought it was
show.
on the pre-show or something.
It wasn't even on the pre-show. It was a dark match.
It was a dark match?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Did they end up doing what they did at Brooklyn and just showing those matches on the NXT after?
Yeah, it was on this week's NXT.
Did he beat Samson?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, good for him, because Samson's kind of meh.
Yeah, this was a shitty episode of NXT this week. It was that match and then promos for the entire rest of the thing.
Woof.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird to follow up your special with that.
Mm-hmm. Just like promos about how the people won at TakeOver, and it was like, well, you could go back and watch that if you didn't already. And later on, we're going to have one match for you guys.
So there's kind of no excuse for that, because I know they did a lot of those NXT matches throughout Access and everything. Why not put some of those matches on there?
Oh, no.
Yeah, why not? Or start like bringing out that No Way Jose dude if you really want him to go there.
You're probably like the only person who's complaining about this past week's NXT, because I guarantee you everyone else is like, no, this past week's NXT was fucking amazing. Those promos, god fucking damn, it was NXT, fuck yeah.
You got to see Jason Jordan cry, man.
Oh boy, we had a highlight reel, hosted by Chris Jericho with special guest Chris Jericho.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, Chris Jericho hosted a show with himself as the guest.
You know what? The more I see of Jericho, the less that I mind that he beat AJ Styles, because it actually looks like he's sticking around to do something.
Which is very surprising. Like,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people didn't even think he was staying until WrestleMania, and here it is after Mania. It still looks like he's kind of cementing a spot for himself.
To be fair, if he had have lost to AJ Styles and then wrestled Dean Ambrose, then Dean Ambrose is fighting a loser, because I assume Dean Ambrose is going to come out on top of this feud and
Fucking
beat
better.
Like if they give wins for against Ambrose and Styles to Jericho, I'm gonna be pissed. Like if it's just so he's got some momentum to put Dean Ambrose over because Styles is in the main event anyway, then it's not so bad.
So they kind of like had Jericho beat Styles because they knew they were going to need Jericho to look good to rehab him after that loss from Lesnar.
Kind of a bit of even Steven booking, but sometimes it's okay.
Even with a PH?
Ethan, Ethan Styles. He gets interrupted by Dean Ambrose, though, who comes out and completely takes over the show. It's no longer the highlight reel. It is now the Ambrose Asylum. He knocks over Jericho's plant, puts up his own plant. He hangs a high school fair poster-looking thing on top of the Jeritron. So it's a pretty good takeover. He puts on clip-on tie. And Jericho, of course, is not happy with this, though. But Dean Ambrose pretty much says, I don't give a fuck what you think, and gives him a dirty deeds. And that's the show.
I like the plant he brought out with him as well. That was the big seller for it.
I love that big statement with the plant, but he ends up knocking his own goddamn plant over.
Didn't Dean originally give Jericho that plant?
I think so, actually. Yeah, he brought a plant with him to the one highlight reel. That was a pretty good highlight reel, but I think this one topped it.
So maybe Dean and Jericho just have really good chemistry.
Oh, you know why? You know why this was better than the highlight reel? It was because it was the Ambrose Asylum. It technically wasn't a highlight reel.
Oh, yeah.
Highlight reels normally suck.
Well, it was like one of those split shows. Like, you know how sometimes a Cartoon Network especially will do it where they don't have full half-hour shows? They'll have 15-minute segments of shows.
So they hit us with the Jericho and finished with the Ambrose.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I liked it.
We got one last thing to talk about from this show. I know Wago's been super excited to get into this one. Match was made with possible implications for the Payback main event, which is currently AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns for the WWE title. This match was Sami Zayn versus AJ Styles. If Styles is not victorious here, Sami Zayn wins, then it will become a triple threat at Payback, where Sami Zayn will be involved in the match. I mean, I don't really understand why Sami Zayn was getting another opportunity. He just came up to the roster, but people didn't give a fuck.
No,
just
it's
I think it's because Kevin Owens stole it from him, so
Yeah.
Shane was trying to do right by Sammy. Much like how he had him evicted from the arena. But the one thing that's pissing me off tonight, this was there was multiple times where I heard AJ Styles' match be threatened. One, the Sami Zayn match, and then when the League of Nations were like, well, why don't you defend it against us at Payback? Because it's not your fucking match. It's Styles' time. Leave it alone. So I was constantly on edge with if they was going to pull this match away. It would have pissed me off. But the Sami Zayn versus AJ Styles match, fucking awesome. I think they can do more on a pay-per-view, obviously, but as a Raw match, very, very good.
Yeah, I mean, this is not even the most that these guys could pull out with each other. I'm sure they were just giving us a taste. Just a taste. Because this could definitely be a match that could be a big pay-per-view match sometime. Shit, that could be a WrestleMania match sometime. And I don't know if it's true, but I think they said that this is the first time these guys have ever faced each other. Which I'm not, fully familiar with the history of Ring of Honor.
To be fair, I've never heard of an AJ Styles versus El Generico match.
I always pictured El Generico not really being a main event level guy. So I can't imagine I can't imagine rather that it's possible they never cross paths.
They might
surprise
have
me at all.
it might have happened on some shitty indie that no one knows about, but
Dragon Force GT Gate 195 West.
One of those TNA things.
and
Nobody would have
it's-
heard about that one.
And it has Extreme in it, but Extremes doesn't have an E. It's just an X, and it's really big.
Extreme Force Challenge.
to the max.
Probably still have a nicer headquarters than TNA does right now, though.
Mm-hmm.
A fucking warehouse. A fucking warehouse.
Does it surprise you? Look at the guy that founded it. He's fucking trying to scam people online.
Okay, I don't even want to get into that right now. Any other thoughts about this match, though? Sami Zayn versus AJ Styles.
Good match. You know, two good guys in the ring. You put them out there, they just do their thing, and it ends up being good. No real, like, surprises there. Kind of one of those things where WWE doesn't have to get into the way, you know? Hey, you're good at wrestling. And you're good at wrestling. Go wrestle. Hey, look at that. They had a good wrestling match. Still not liking the phenomenal forearm, though.
I like the move. I just hate the name.
To be fair, he gets some height on that sumbitch.
I don't like it as a finisher. That's my thing.
Is that what he won with?
Yep.
I thought he might have won with the cattle crusher.
I like that he has multiple moves. He's established the Styles Clash. He's established the stupid name forearm. And, yeah, that little submission thing he does, it's weird.
Did you just refer to it as the cattle crusher?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Calf crusher, I think is.
Oh, calf crusher.
He's just smashing these cows.
Well, see, Kevin Owens has the Brahma Bull on his shoulder, so I don't know. It's possible.
Yeah, it could be a cattle crusher. Sounds cool.
AJ Styles just goes up the farms and pulls that move out on them.
Well, he is a redneck.
I agree with AP Styles. I want to see the spiral tap soon.
That'll be a WrestleMania thing.
Spinal tap.
Douchebag.
All right, folks. Well, we got through the whole show. That means it is time for the good, the bad, and the ugly. We're going to talk about the best part, the worst part, and what we thought was the most must-avoid part of the show. If you have a good, bad, and ugly, feel free to drop in the chat. We'll read it after ours. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Wego, what's your good, bad, and ugly tonight?
So for the good, it's obviously going to Stacey versus Zayn. The bad is the Goldust and R-Truth situation, and the ugly is Callisto's landing.
Ooh. Drew, your good, bad, and ugly.
My good is going to be the Miz, Maurice, and Cesaro segment that kicked a lot of fucking ass. My bad is going to be the lack of the big guy on the show, and makes me feel a little upset when they disrespect him like this, because he is the future of the company. And my ugly is going to be R-Truth and Goldust, and not even Dr. Phil, because he did nothing. He just walked up to him, and he's like, I'm not even worth this. You guys are not worth my time. That's how bad that segment was. Even Dr. Phil.
Even Dr. Phil was above it.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's definitely the ugly.
Tony, you're a good, bad, and ugly.
My good's going to go to the highlight reel. I like the idea of Ambrose and Jericho working together, so awesome. A couple other good things tonight, but that's the one that stood out to me the most. The bad is going to go to the fact that we have another Primo and Epico promo, because I don't give a fuck about those two returning, and we had two tonight.
I didn't even mention that shit. That was so stupid.
Stop sniffing the goddamn flowers and just go to TNA already. And the ugly is going to go to everything with Dr. Phil. I don't care about that dude at all. Fuck him.
He does have an ugly hairstyle. That's all he's given that.
He has hair?
A little bit.
Oh, that little side bit.
Yeah.
The horseshoe.
Read something we got out of the chat here. Let's see. We got Silent with the Doom. Good. Everything. Raw is Shane O'Mac. Bad. The possible breaking of Kalisto's neck. Ugly. Freddie Prinze Jr. is getting old, and it makes me feel old. Apparently, he's trying to debut his own segment here. The JBL line of the night. When in trouble, kick someone in the face really hard. Best counter in the world.
Okay.
Brian the Brain, good. AJ vs. Sammy, bad. JBL on commentary, ugly. The R-Truth Goldust segment, AP Styles, good. Bullet Club, bad. Kalisto injury, ugly. Dr. Phil. Awesome Piano Man, good. All of you for recapping, bad. Drew's Charlotte hate.
Which I didn't even do tonight. I barely touched on that.
Yeah, you just told fucking Natalya that she's a piece of shit and should die.
I didn't say that. I thought she was
I'm pretty sure that you said
Yeah, I remember something about you calling her a wildebeest.
My
Yeah, I'm pretty
girlfriend
sure that you
totally
said
was
that
saying how
you
she
was
had
vomiting
rolls
when you
on her
saw her.
stomach, and then I was like, "Dude, that's pretty offensive."
Oh,
And
so you're
she's like,
throwing your girlfriend
"Yeah,
under the bus now?
Yeah,
Fucking
wow.
some man you are.
Mm-hmm. You're
fucking
like that wrestler when the
idiots."
one guy comes after him and he stands behind his woman.
You
I
got more
don't
veterans to argue with.
understand. I don't even understand Natalia's outfit because there's way too many straps on that.
All right, well, his ugly is Adam Rose, even if I didn't see him. Adam Rose does always deserve the ugly. Dane Quinn, good. The Miz, bad. Cesaro biting off Dean Malenko in WWE. What? How's he biting off Dean Malenko?
Malenko's one theme was very reminiscent of about old Bond theme.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay, and as ugly as Enzo's hair. Oh, that hair's awesome. Kalen Fair is saying good. AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn. Bad. Kalisto. By God, he's broken in half. Ugly. Dr. Phil and his fucking mustache. All right, so for my good, bad, and ugly, I'm going to say good. I'm going to give to the Miz backstage segment as well. That was a lot of fun. I shouldn't say it was fun. It was actually quite infuriating. And as I said, I've had to deal with those kind of people. So to be able to really bring out that kind of hatred for a character like that, props to him. Heat. The bad, I am going to give to Kalisto. It's really a shame that he had to get hurt. The whole situation with him sucks in general. I mean, I understand Tony's point where he's saying good, but I would never say good on someone getting hurt.
No, I don't want the guy to actually like be in pain or anything like that or fuck up his career.
You're saying you don't know anyone who you'd be happy if they got hurt? I know plenty of people who'd be happy if they got hurt.
Yeah, never mind. I'll take that back.
Well, it's not Kalisto. I'm not a fan of
Kalisto.
I'm not a fan of his U.S. title run, and if it means we get something better for the U.S. title, then that's good. But poor guy getting hurt at what's probably the height of his career, that sucks. My ugly for tonight, you know what? I'm also going to give to those damn Epico and Primo commercials. Them shits were whack.
I totally forgot about that.
Smell these flowers.
Smell these flowers.
It smells so nice.
Puerto
Then there's
Rico.
water. Woo!
But we did have a commercial I did like tonight. It was a commercial for Subway, where they're debuting this new carved turkey bacon sandwich thing they have.
That looks good.
And it was with a pilgrim. And they're like, it's so good, pilgrims would love it. And there's a pilgrim at the counter. He's like, what? Just because I'm a pilgrim, I'm going to like turkey? You hear this girl? Saying because I'm a pilgrim, I like turkey. And then she's like, so what do you have? He's like, the new sandwich. The one with the turkey? Yes.
So, did everyone else see the Titus O'Neil commercial?
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
I don't know. Apparently,
That was on
he
last
came down
week, too.
WrestleMania. That was on last week too.
Mhm.
Huh. I know they promoted that Universal Studios thing a second time during some match, but I was like, they really fucking hate you, Titus. You can't wrestle. You can't be on Mania. But we'll show this commercial just in spite. So fuck you, Titus.
I wonder if they already had that film before that whole thing went down.
Probably. I doubt they gave him something to do. In the meantime, he's probably visiting at old people homes still.
Okay, so it's time for us to do a round of games here before we wrap up the show. So the one I have planned for you guys here, we are going to do a game of Tap Out to start it off. As you guys know how this game works, I'm going to give you a topic. You're going to name examples of the topic until we've exhausted as many as we can, or each person taps out. Last man standing wins the game. I believe last week, Mr. Wago actually won. He won the biggest edition of the games ever.
Yeah, I don't know what the fucking hell's going on with all this winning that I'm doing lately.
All you do is win, win, win. Oh, sorry, you don't like that song, do you?
And yes, Kaylin, my opinion of myself does need to be inflated more.
All right, guys, so we're just going to do this game of Tap Out. So whoever wins this one, it's going to be our winner tonight. So this is important. You want to make sure you get this one. We're going to go in this order. Wago will go first. He's going to be followed up by Tony, and then I'll be followed up by Drew. Okay? Everyone knows their spot.
Yup.
Your topic tonight is going to be, in celebration of the tag team tournament, the topic is tag teams of the golden period, the 80s. So tag teams of the 80s. Wago, go ahead.
Wait, so what do you mean by the gold period exactly?
Tag
Like,
teams of the 80s.
You mean like the Hulk Hogan period?
Tag teams of the 80s.
Road Warriors.
It's my turn, right?
Yes.
Wild Samoans.
Drew.
The Mega Powers.
Wayo.
Rockers.
Drew. All right, Tony.
Heart Foundation.
Drew.
Nah.
Wago.
Natural disasters.
Tony.
Demolition.
Wago.
Heart Foundation.
Already said.
Ah, damn.
Tony gets the victory on this one.
Woo.
Even when he's tired, Tony can beat you guys. What's up with that?
I had one more I could think of, and that was it.
It was getting to the end there. I mean, there were definitely more if you were really a big nerd into that. You could think, Strike Force, Killer Bees.
Orient
Nasty
Express.
is the one I could think of.
Did anyone say the Wild Samoans?
That was like
That's
the second
first
one
I
said.
said.
Yeah.
Wait, that was second?
sucks.
That's weird.
That is kind of weird. That was second.
I don't understand how that one was before the Mega Powers.
Oh shit, the British Bulldogs.
Oh,
Were
that's not
the
so bad.
Nasty Boys in the 80s?
I believe they were at the tail end. You also could
I only
have
had
said
them
the
and
Steiners.
The fact,
them and
that
LOD were the only ones I could think of.
the fact they were ever in wrestling's a disgrace.
Come on, they're the Nasty Boys.
Okay. Well, Tony, you get to decide who does the plugs and how they do them. We already got someone in the chat saying plugs in Yoda voice,
Yeah, I can't do that. We figured that out.
plugs with helium voice,
Plugs with helium voice.
Enzo Amore. It's everyone's favorite segment. Decide how Drew does the plugs.
I don't know why I want to do it. Wago's been winning a lot recently. Why wouldn't you want him to do it?
Because you lose, this will not loss, so you should do it.
You got to.
Do you have a track record of who's done it how many times? Or
I've
who's
done it the most
recently?
out of everyone. No,
I
no,
don't
no.
think so. I don't think you've ever done it. And all that hate for Natalya. Man, you're a real piece of shit.
I don't know. You really didn't want to do the Yoda one. Probably
because
because
I already did it once and it was terrible.
Yeah, but maybe someone wants to hear it again. There's a few people who are new. William Carey. Come on. He probably wants to hear you do it.
Wildebeest? I'm seeing a couple other ideas here. Brian the Brain says plugs as pugs.
How do you do it as a pug?
I don't know.
I'm a pug.
Just say
I like not being able to breathe properly.
They can't run for like 5, so maybe you got to be like heavy breathing.
See with Roman Reigns, Bigfoot. Well, we got 2 votes for Bigfoot.
Really? How do you even do plugs as Bigfoot if Bigfoot doesn't even exist?
Imagine Ryback doing the Bigfoot impression.
The Bigfoot.
Like James Bond. That's not a bad one.
What was the second one that somebody threw out there? It was after the Yoda one.
Roman Reigns.
Oh, the helium voice.
Helium voice.
I kind of like the sound of that one.
I don't know if I could get my voice that high.
I don't even.
I mean, you're halfway there, Drew.
I used to have helium, like one of those helium balloons down here, but I don't have one down here, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would totally do it.
Oh, Silent Doom looks like he's got something. He's got
Oh.
What is it, Swad?
Nia Jax inhaling Snickers.
Silent Doom brings up a good point. He says, have Drew and Wego do it together as an 80s tag team.
Oh, that's thinking outside the box there.
Yeah, you know what? Why not do that one?
Team, though.
You're an 80s tag team.
Yeah, you got to do the whole, like, one of you yells and the other one also yells, I guess.
So, what can we think of here? So, we got Drew White, and we got Steven Wago. They could be,
You'd be the Wild Samoans.
no.
Do you have a piercing in your nose?
Silent Winter Doom just says coke it up.
I know what we call them. We call them White and Royt.
White and Roy.
White and Roy, I like it.
So you have to do the.
You gotta do the
Sean
Sean
Walker.
voice.
Yeah, you got to do the Roy.
You were thinking you were
Alright.
getting away from that, but no, it's back.
Unless you do
Oh,
the
you know what?
White
I could
and
just
Drew
cut,
does the
I could
Roy.
just cut this as the Bushwhackers then. That's an 80s team that I use for Sean's voice for.
I
Right,
can't even do a bushwhacker impression. Did he just spout out nonsense?
Alright, cousin Roy, let me tell you something about Mega Powers Radio. Alright? So, we've got this show, Roy. It's called The post-Raw show, we do it after the fucking Raw on Mix the Radio, and we mess it, and we like to say stuff to you cunts. You tell them about it, brother Woyght.
Well, let me step in here, brother. If you want to see some cool fucking shit, you go to fucking Mega Powers Radio. You go to Smark Out Moment, Fanboys and Artists. We do Smack Talk on there. We also got...
You know what, brother Woyght? This cunt, Mr. Payton, he's been doing streams on the Twitch. It's pretty fucking good. You just go to Mr. Payton.
If you want to see some more streams, you got to fucking right. No. Got to stream with fucking Wigger. He got Twitches as well. Fucking streams with fucking right.
Oh. Well, this belongs on Wrestle Crap if I've ever heard anything.
Yeah, this is your fault.
This whole show was very low energy until that.
It just suddenly came in a big ball of
and
fire.
Shout out to
Silent Winter Doom's like, they're actually getting pumped. I was actually getting into it till I was cut.
Austin Cattleman said this is the best Drew's ever done the plugs.
And shout out to the Bray for winning this whatever tournament for the t-shirt. So you get a t-shirt.
You killed it. Shut up.
All right, folks, if you had fun here tonight, join us every Monday. We're here after Raw goes off the air. Tune your browser to megapowersradio.com. We're everywhere podcasts can be found. Outside of that as well, we're on iTunes, we're on Stitcher Radio, we're on YouTube, we're on TuneIn, and we're also easily found to all thous places when you go to smarkoutmoment.com. And till next week, folks, we're going to be signing off. So for Drew White, for Steven Wago, for Tony Mango, I'm Mike Payton, and we'll see y'all on the flip-flop.
It's Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. If you want to have a priceless experience, then you'll stay tuned to Mega Powers Radio. And remember, everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man.